Good afternoon, this is Howard Nema and Vinny Bdatruth, and we're back with We Are Change Connecticut. Okay, it's good to have you back again, Vin. It's good to have you back.
Well, it's good to just try to help out. I mean, you're really the one who deserves the credit, Howard. You've done a lot. It's very awesome I'm proud of seeing,
We're
everything
moving.
going.
We're grooving.
Thank God for you because, I've been, out of business for like 3 months now, right? What is it about? 3 months now?
Yeah.
Feels like forever since I've been here.
It's been a long time.
And, you're doing really good, and thank God for you, man.
Well, we just had a little power problem with the stream. The reason I had to stop for a moment was because sometimes it freezes, and if I mute the mic because we're here while you're watching something and we're talking or whatever, sometimes it freezes and I'm unable to put the mic back on. But at least I'm conscious of it now. A couple of shows I did, I actually broadcasted 20 minutes once.
Muted.
So I mean, it is it's baby steps.
Doing,
it's baby steps. You take a little bit at a time, but we're getting really good at it. What do you think about that compilation of the world? I mean, how people are saying there's no such thing as a new world order when they're talking about it's happening.
No, be honest, I don't really like them. I don't even want to bring the name up, but Jason Burmis in that video back in the day, I thought it was great, the Invisible Empire one, where, the way he did that collage, like at the end, I don't know if you've ever seen that, the Invisible Empire with Alex Jones, Burmis and them.
Oh.
But it's the same thing, but it was just like minutes of all the people like sitting there saying New World Order. Same thing like you're saying. It's the words that they're saying, and then you say it and you're crazy.
It is their words, yeah.
I wanted to bring up one of the things I haven't got to tell you is, how I'm all into the old world secrets. I've talked about it on the show. When we had Jonathan Gray, the archaeologist, I brought up the stuff. I talk about Zeus and the Brandon Levon stuff.
Right.
I actually, nobody knows. There's like 2 different stories of what happened to Brandon Levon. And I bought the book like the minute it happened back in 2009. His second book came out, and I bought it. And then it was, it was stories of he was murdered and he's missing. And, so I was just like, well, I opened up my book and I said, I'm going to write the publishing company. That's someone maybe I could trust what they have to say, looking for information. So I actually got in touch with them. And they were just like, yeah, we haven't heard from him since he wrote the book. We really don't know what happened, this and that.
Wow.
So I was trying to talk to them, can you give me any type of information, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, a week later, this girl I know who knows about me in the book, and she comes to me and she goes, that they just canceled that book, the publishing company.
You mean after you had given them
the heads up, saying,
give them a heads up, look at this book.
I really like this book and I'm trying to look into this, and then a week later they take this book off. Now they made a second edition, which means they removed the hidden code and stuff, and they're charged. That book that I bought for $15 3 years ago is now $500.
Well, why don't you give a little backstory into the information, because people out there probably aren't aware of necessarily what this is. But we spoke about this. Yeah, I remember you mentioning this.
When, people who've heard me talk, I've always mentioned things about Zeus and Poseidon.
These codes.
And to another thing is my cousin Tom up there, I've had for 3-4 years, I've been trying to there's codes. His whole book is coded. He says this book is coded just like the Bible, and he gives you certain cryptographs on how to decrypt things. And I noticed with all the titles, every title will start off and it'll say, a bad something, whatever. And you take the first letter, you go back one. And it spells out all the zodiac signs. That's the name of the chapters. But then he has the thing in the back of the book that was really hard. And my cousin and me were there one night, and my cousin really broke it down. And only a little bit. We were able to break about 2 sentences of this code in the back of the book. And it says that the Masons wrote the Bible and have done everything and are behind everything. It's all about the Masons.
Well, the King James Bible, you would think for certain, absolutely.
Well, it's crazy. Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
he
definitely.
was 33rd degree Freemason.
No doubt about it.
Authorized, what you're allowed to hear. But when, the research I've been doing, which is
Very deep.
research.
He does deep-ended. I'm more like current and like the last 100 years or so. 200
Yeah, you're
years.
on top of all the news, what's going on.
And definitely ancient ties. And it all, interestingly enough, like Barbara Hartwell said the other day, it all meets in the middle. It's very vast, but it does all connect, and it's all meeting in the middle. And it is this this bottomless pit of evil that just keeps going.
Everything, I feel like, I even noticed that even people like us that we call ourselves awake and we feel awake and we know more than the average person, but even us and lower level Masons and lower level people, even Hillary Clinton, like we were just watching, we don't really know the exact truth. Even us are being,
absolutely,
have the wrong, idea of things, and there's so much, disinformation and this and that it's hard to tell, even if you're really smart and to try to figure out, like, even let's say the word Mason. I'm going to say through my research, I still can't sit here and say exactly, like, I know for 100% this is what Mason comes from. There's two different things I basically got it down to. The one is going through, like, the Hopi and the Indians, Poseidon's people. There was the god Nassau, who had his son Sin, and he was the one chosen to be the builder of all the new cities. This is after the last destruction. And that's where the word Mason, Nassau's son Sin, Mason, and that they were the ones chosen. They were the Masons who started. Then I got into some deep Mason research to where the word Mason really meant the May sun, having to do with all this pagan May sun, ritual, right. and all having to do with, again, paganism. And me, to give a little information, being upstate in the woods, really, really seeing, like, it was so different. Like, people that live the city life and the way it is here, it's just not natural, and it's not what our ancestors and everybody was doing. I sit up there, and you really do have to, like, the rain. We haven't gotten rain up there in 3 weeks. The water level's bad. Crops aren't doing good. These are things that you pay attention to. And our ancestors, it was all about the sun and about water, and so it's really all about that stuff, the May sun and paganism. That's really what it is. Not to make it like it was evil. That, I think, is what the people ruling the world create these things and play us off with lies. But I don't think our ancestors, wasn't a devil guy with horns, this and that. Again, this is my opinion. Can't say this 100%, but to me, where they talk about the god and he wore the horns, that's Zeus again. Zeus wore a crown with the bull horns on his head, and
that's true,
and things like that. So there's so much things that I even felt like, okay, I know what this is, and then another door opens up, and you get a higher clearance or into a deeper thing. I'm going to tell you how I've been getting into the Mason stuff. Me and my cousin Tommy, again, we have a Mason book that one day I'd like to show you. Yeah, we're building like a library because I feel like we got some books that are really important, just like Brandon Levon's book, which is now $500 and you can't get no more.
And cut to pieces.
But we have a book, a Mason book from 1821.
Wow.
And right on the first page, they're talking about world government, one world government and everything like you were just talking about. You see what I'm talking about? We got a book from 1821. American Masons talking about one world government. Yeah. Another one, we purchased, get this, we talked to this kid, one of these guys up there I meet, one of my cousin's friends, and he's talking about his father's a Mason. And we're like, what degree is your dad? So he's like, hold on, it's my dad's birthday. Let me text him and ask. He actually texted his father in front of us. His father writes back, 32nd degree Mason.
Oh, shit. Wow.
So me, we're like, whoa. Like anybody who's like 30th degree is like, at 30 until like 33. It's like, at 30. So we're like, your dad knows like what's going on and this and that. And all of a sudden he says he has this book that he'd be willing to sell us. And it's an old Masonic book.
Wow.
We buy this book. And it's literally just symbols. Half of it is just symbols. And there's not even words. It's like the ancients where it's like a symbol. So, we haven't been able to decode this, but we purchased it. We own a book that it's definitely a big-time Masonic book that's handed around within each other. And to me, it looks like the ancient Jewish stuff where it's the symbolism and almost like the Talmud, things like that. It's almost like that, or hieroglyphics type
Interesting.
of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, which one day, or if I get set up there,
Yeah, we'll
I
show
can
it on
show you
air.
on that, show you the book. It's, so I've
Yeah,
been
what you
breaking
can
down
do
a
is you
lot
can
of things.
scan the pages, and we could show the scan. Like in other words, you can scan scan the page with a scanner.
Yeah.
And then show the pages.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy, all the things.
Yeah, I haven't dug too much. I mean, I've dug enough into the Masons to know that they're one of the main components. Again, not the only component, but one of the main components. Yeah.
Oh, another thing.
All the different lodges. The different orders. Many different orders of the Masons.
Another thing I wanted to add is like another perfect example I could think of is, a lot of us, we look at the pyramid and we say, oh, that says 1776, that's the Illuminati,
yeah, right.
This and that. Through more research, that's even a lie. Like, that's not technically true. And that number on the bottom is, again, it's very deep. It's not, like, simple. Like, even like the cryptographs and Brandon Lehman, this is like, they're extremely smart people. And their mind thinks different than us, who are programmed not to see symbols and understand these codes. But it's basically 3 pyramids, and when you do the numbers out, it's 666, 1110. 1110 is the last time, it has to do with Israel, and when the last time they conquered Israel, this bloodline. So, like, that's what I mean, where even us who know more than the average person, we're still,
there's still more to know.
Things to uncover, and there's still, like,
well, the depth of this is so much, and then the whole, like, the RH blood and all of that, and
it's crazy,
really deep.
These people are so extremely intelligent that it's almost impossible for the average person to sit there and think like them, because we haven't been taught like that. We're very, the 30-second commercials and everything,
fast information,
and
quick
TV, dumbing it down. They've dumbed down everything for people, so we're not able to like the ancients look at, to read that book and understand and put all this together. It's crazy. It's overwhelming sometimes, because you realize what we're going up against. Like, it's just always like a smack in the face. Like, do you understand how serious this is?
No, I guess they really don't understand. But it's said right there. I mean, all these people, like, come on. We have war, Syria. Oh my God, I haven't done any news all week because of the big attack against Dr. Carpenter, who I've been defending her rights. I mean, my God, it's like Stasi. They come in there, they say they have a search warrant, they take her property, her money. I mean, how is money involved in cash for the rent? To put her out of business, take her lasers. Really bad stuff going on. But I haven't been talking to the news, and I mean, Syria, there's unrest in the world. They're not showing half the unrest, the austerity measures. They're not showing anything, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, I've kind of been out of the loop with that too. Every once in a while, like, my only type of information is if I go to the gas station, I see the front page of a newspaper or something.
Yeah.
I know about the Obama healthcare.
Oh, Obamacare, yeah.
Even in the middle of the woods, people are talking about that one.
Yeah, they don't like it, I'm sure.
No.
Nobody likes it, but they put it through because they're Stasi. It's communism. That's what it is.
But they're
Bolsheviks.
But the people still ain't getting it. We're definitely doing good, and we're reaching people. There is an awakening. I'll keep agreeing.
No doubt about that.
But it's still, there's so many people that just, like, complaining and realize everything sucks, has no confidence, don't feel it's going to get better. But yet when you ask them, well, what's the problem? Mm-hmm. They can't tell you what the problem is. It's like nobody's still putting it together. And the researchers and the people putting our necks out there and doing the research, we're telling the people, and they're just like, you can't know.
You don't know. Like, you're crazy.
Like me, I feel like, even though I got the beard going here, I still have a youngish, like, people think I'm a lot younger than I am. Mm-hmm. And people still think I'm, like, in my 20s. And I feel like, people don't want to listen to a somebody thinks like 20-something-year-old kid. You don't, if I was rich, drove around in a BMW and had a big mansion and had, this and that, people would probably listen. But since I'm just like this guy just walking around talking, people don't take it serious, I feel. They're like, how could this guy know something? This is a guy, nailing shingles on a roof. Who the hell?
They don't understand.
You know, like Goodwill Hunting almost.
Yeah.
You know, like this a janitor. You know, who the hell? You don't. You know.
But Vinny, they don't understand that you know, like, you know, the entire education system, the entire hierarchical needing a degree to get up in the world, and the proper degrees and the proper, you know, that whole control mechanism breeds a certain type of structured, mind-controlled droid who is what they want. Yeah. And if you don't fit in that mold, you're the problem.
Yeah, it's the network, man. It's
yes, absolutely.
It's no that guy yelling, like explaining, like, you know, all boredom will be.
You're crazy.
Like, we're gonna take care of everything, and the people are gonna love it. They're gonna love it, and that's what, you know. You look around and people, you know, they know things are bad, but they're still just like pretty content with, you know, their food stamps and their television. You know, not realizing that the future is really bleak for us. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
as a species,
yeah,
literally,
it's really bad, you know.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. I mean, it's beyond terrible. It's absolutely insane. You know, we have a very, very out of control government that is taking away our rights on a daily basis, and then you have other laws they try to pass, and even more draconian. You know, giving up our guns. They want us to give up our guns because of the United Nations. Come on, it's a world government they're going after. I just showed that 15-minute film about that.
That's going to be horrible if they ever try to take the guns.
Oh, it won't happen.
That will be the next revolution.
It will. They know they can't take the guns. They really realize that. They have to figure out. Good luck is right.
Good luck, guys.
But they'll try, and they'll threaten jail and everything, and that's okay, because there will be many people, if they're threatened with 10 years in prison for not handing up their firearms, that will give them up. But I tell you, there's plenty of people that would that'll die before giving out their guns, and they'll be called the anarchists. They'll be called
crazy militia,
the crazy militia, the insane people, people that understand what it means to be free.
Yeah.
You're a slave, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't understand what we're talking about, and if you think we're nuts. You're the slave. You're the one that has the mental understanding that has been programmed.
Yeah.
You're the one that has been basically designed from your birth at this point. Most folks that are cognizant of what's going on are children of the television age, which is only a couple of generations old. And a lot of people are bred to just live on the television. Their parents are working, so they're busy. They put the kid in front of the TV, you know. Their TV raises the kid. And you wonder why society is where it is.
Yeah, that's the other thing that just drives me so mad almost every day of my life, is to see we could call it the Matrix, like they call it, or just a big blob of like Satan's little soldiers, or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to think of names but like the Matrix of the people that are plugged in the system, you know, the accountants, the police officers, the judges, the parole officer, the meter maid, just almost every, like, all these things.
The compartmentalized minions.
They're all the problems.
Oh, yes.
You know, just driving here and everyday driving and just seeing cops pulling people over, you know, for whatever reason, while I watch them with a laptop. They got a laptop in the middle of their computer. They're sitting there driving around on a laptop.
Yeah, but you better not be texting.
Speeding, doing this and that.
Yeah,
and it's like, and we all got to be scared, like little sheep, waiting for the wolf to come in and grab one of us. And it just drives me crazy. And okay, I want to bring in Rome. Hospital.
Bring this up. Oh yeah, here we go. We were going to bring this up. I mentioned this in the beginning when I mentioned that you were here, that we would be talking about the Rome emergency room and not Rome, Italy.
I am someone, for people who don't know me, I'm one of those guys that I'm like, I'd rather die than give my dollar to the doctor,
to the big pharma fraud.
Yeah, like, you know, I basically got to be at death. I've never brought myself to an emergency room for nothing. 3 nights ago, I literally thought I was like having a brain hemorrhage. I'm serious. It was really scary. It was the worst pain of my life. To me, I couldn't even sit still. I was like, wanted to just curl up in a ball and die from the pain. So I was sitting there by myself. My cousin works till 11:30. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I gotta go. I just drive to a hospital. That's how bad it was for me to do this. And I go to the emergency room, and I'm in there. I could barely stand. I can't even like talk. I'm like holding my head. I'm like, this is an emergency. I think I'm having a brain hemorrhage or something's going on. Like, I need help. Please, I need help for my pain. Here, sit down, fill this out. I'm like, listen, this is an emergency. I can't. They're like,
what insurance do you have?
No, yeah, I don't have insurance. Just, I need, help right now. This is an emergency. Okay, well, we'll go take this, sit down. Someone will be there to help you. So now I'm like, yeah, fine, okay. I take the clipboard. I'm sitting there, like, barely could, like trying to, like, thinking I'm gonna, like, am I gonna just fall over right here? So I'm sitting there, like, trying to give my information, and I'm like, all right, here you go. And then I'm like standing there, like, okay, come on, like, help me out here. I'm in this really bad pain. And she's like, sir, you're gonna have to get out of here and go sit over there. And I'm just like, this is the emergency room, right? This is an emergency. I need help right now, emergency. No, you're gonna just go sit over there and wait like everybody else. And I'm just like, wait a sec. I start getting really upset here, I'm like, so now, like, people are looking, and I'm just like, all right, and I, like, try to go stand in the corner, and I'm, like, standing in the corner, holding my head, like, oh my God, like, trying to fight it, like, trying to, like, meditate, put myself in a different place, you know what I mean, like, to wait, and then, like, literally an hour went by, and I'm sitting there, and I go back to the lady, and the lady starts giving me an attitude, and I was like, oh, the only emergency here is my information. That's the only rush, right? Is give me your information. That's the only thing you're concerned about. You just don't give a shit about how I feel, if I'm okay. All you want is my information, right? That's the only emergency here. I said, take my name off your list. I'd rather go die in the parking lot and this and that. I start, getting upset, cursing. Of course, police officers got to come. Sir, you're going to have to leave. I said, good. I just want to make sure you take my name out of your shit. Don't send me a letter. I better not get a bill. I didn't talk to nobody. I've been here an hour for an emergency and nobody helps me. And again, it's just the system, the blob.
It is.
Then I ended up,
blob. That's a good word.
I have a broken tooth, which was maybe the issue of why I was having these problems. So then I had to go to the dentist, and I had my tooth. 24 hours ago yesterday, I was, sitting in a chair with a doctor ripping my tooth out of my head, which was the first two. And even that, it's just big scams. It's just, I'm like sitting there and you're reading the stuff on the wall and it's like, penadoctoral disease, if you're, and it's just like, if your teeth are spaced like this far apart, and I'm like, what about Mick Jagger and those British people with those big, gap in their teeth? What is that? You know what I mean? Like with Michael Strahan, is that it's a disease he's got? Like you serious? And what's the cure? Oh, $1,300. We can kill the bacteria. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, but bacteria is supposed to be in my mouth. There's lots of bacteria in my mouth. What are you talking about? Like everything's just a big scam. It's like trying to talk to a dentist about fluoride. It's just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Very good point.
They're just, everybody's in the Matrix.
Really
and like that movie, like you can't pull him out, like when he's telling them, like, because people are dependent. It says it right there in the movie. Oh, and I found out that the Matrix was written by 2 CIA agents. I can't think of their names right now. William Cooper said it in 1997.
Really?
And yeah.
I didn't know that.
And it was written by 2 CIA agents. That's how they know so much and why that movie's saying so much. And one of the scenes in there,
that's important.
Is Morpheus explaining the whole thing of the Matrix, and Neo's like, these people while they're walking around the streets, right? It's like everybody just walking around, going to work, and he's like, these people are dependent. I'll bring my sister, make it personal. My sister, big time accountant. We do the show with Joe Bannister, who is a hero to me. Again, a guy to step up and put his name out there. And say, hey, wait a sec, my sister still never probably watched the show and never will to this day. Why? Because that's where she gets her paycheck from.
Yeah, not only does she get her paycheck from it,
that's her life.
She
went to college, she did all this, invested all that time, money, and now her whole life.
But she believes it. It's her belief system. What we're asking everybody to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to crash and trash your entire belief system. You know, that's what we're asking people
And
to
it's
do.
too hard, like they show in the
really
Matrix.
is. It's true.
Most people are not ready to be pulled out of the Matrix. They don't want to know what we know.
That's right.
And that's why the minute we start giving this information, most of them shut down, make fun of you, run away, and this and that, because they don't want their bubble to
be burst.
Yeah,
that's right.
They want to stay in that nice comfort zone where, you know, everything's, you know, cotton candy and you know, this and that. But and we're like, you know, out of the Matrix, seeing everything, you know. Me, I look at everything now. I look at numbers. I know the meaning of numbers, colors,
objects. You know. Yeah, sure.
Let's talk
Symbols.
about this. You'll probably find this interesting, and maybe listeners. Blue and red. Let's get into this. Blue and red. One of the first things I found out, first 3 degrees of masonry are blue and red. Again, everything has to do with the Masons in my research. But blue and red, right? Democrat, Republican, blue and red. If you watch a boxing match, there's only 2 glove colors they could be, blue and red. Everything's blue and red, blue and red. You know, Bloods, Crips, created by CIA and this and that, it's blue and red, blue and red. The 2 sides of blue and red, it's a Masonic thing. And there's the blue bloods and things like that are actually Masonic things. Obama, Jay-Z, and these people are blue bloods. They're on the blue side because it's your favorite. You know, I was thinking you Hegelian dialectic, you know, which we know about from Howard and others. So they got the 2 sides, you know. So you got the blue and the red. And then all of us idiots, you know, Democrat, Republican, or whatever. West Side, blue blood, Crip, this and that, you know, wood boxer. So that's the colors. Then you could look at all like the gas stations and everything. It's the blue and red, Exxon Mobil, all this blue and red, letting you know. Other colors like white, meaning, you know, the pure, novice, new, virgin, right? You think of fighting. First thing, white belt. You're novice, you're new, virgin, pure. Black belt, right? Black is like you're the expert. When you graduate college, black cap and gown, right? Black square in your head you're wearing, black gown, judges, black, you know.
Very interesting. That's excellent, excellent analysis, too.
Right?
Yeah.
The judges, all of them, the black, you graduate college, all these things, it's the black. You're a black belt, you're a master, right? Then there's something above black that people don't realize. Above black belt and things is the red belt, and there's the color red. Now, who wears the red? These are the, let's say, the Pope, or some sicko in Bohemian Grove, right? You remember the movie with Tom Cruise? They're wearing the red, right? Sacrifices, all these. So the Pope and the High Priest and people like that wear the red. They're the spiritual masters. So, like, everything. Like,
has its purpose.
Yeah, you know, the number 8. I mean, the number 8 is the symbol of the hourglass, if you think about it.
Yes.
Representing time.
Infinity.
Which
time.
8 represents the owl, which is time, Grim Reaper, things like that. This, you could look at the tarot cards, everything, and this is showing the stuff.
Wow.
The 6, the 7, the colors. To me, it's about Saturn and the sun. Not really Satan, but more like Saturn and things like that. And the numbers and colors, and that's what I mean. Like the Matrix, I walk around like Neo, and I'm just like seeing everything, you know, and just bumping around all the people stuck in it who don't want to pull out.
They don't know,
you know.
Well, listen, we gotta give a shout out to Roger Landry. He's expecting our call. He's going to join us. I'm going to give him a call right now.
How's his show with? I always wanted to know about the Al Jazeera and things like that.
I'm sure he'll fill us in. Nice. Mr. Hello. Landry.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing better than I deserve, as that criminal guy on TV says, whatever that liar says. Anyway, okay, what's going on?
It's time, and I can't stop it. Is Vinny there with you?
Vinny certainly is here with me.
How you doing, Roger?
And it's so happy to have him here.
I'm doing great. Apparently, the trip wasn't too arduous, sir.
He made it.
Yeah, it's great to see you again, Roger, and to talk to you. I feel like I've been gone forever. You know?
Yeah, I feel like you've been gone. I have not come on to the show since the last time you were there. That's how busy I have been.
That's true.
But I have a couple of special things to say today. So Howard invited me in, and I really appreciate it, Howard.
Oh, you're welcome. You're always welcome. Of course, you're always welcome here as well.
Well, to start off with, have you told anybody about what we discussed today?
Well, just the fact about that the movie's being made. I didn't. I mentioned that we're doing a song, but that was about the gist of it. I didn't go into too much detail, you know. So
Okay.
certainly, I left most of the information for you to go into. Just mention that. I didn't really go into anything else.
Well, to start off with, Howard is now going to be assisting us in our media department and
Nice.
lending his many talents, which range from musical talents all the way up to and including his ability to choreograph a show such as this in such a splendid fashion. And we're very, very glad for that. Howard has been a partner, and so have you, Vinny, for quite a while, and you're very valued partners of the network. But two other very good, actually three other very good pieces of news are that the network over the last 10 days alone has taken in between 8 and 10 million new names. Yeah, it's Liberty is getting very popular
Yeah.
nowadays. And our biggest struggle in WTPN right now is maintaining a staff that can keep the network running in a controlled and logical fashion to support all of the partners we have and all of their projects and their ideas. Uh, some of the really big news that has happened is we have partnered up with a production company, and this was the film that Howard was alluding to. And the name of the film, now, see, I'm sitting in my chair and at my desk, at my computer, which I do 20 plus hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm
And that's a
looking,
fact for anyone that doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
I, I'm looking through things that people have sent me, and I'm looking through things on my wall, and I see this trailer for a movie. And I look at it, and as I'm watching it, I'm sliding closer and closer to the edge of my chair. I'm gripping the edge of the table. I'm laughing. I'm smiling. I'm like, I have got to get a hold of these people. So I did. And I offered them a partnership in the network after the network had been explained to them, and they were thrilled. Because the name of the movie is We the People. And this is a full length professional documentary movie. It's uh, going to be released in theaters across the country. It is, as I said, very professionally done. And the three producers are Chris Forgione, Adam Forgione, and Dan Matthews Walters. And these three gentlemen are patriots to the extreme. The two brothers, obviously, and a good friend who got together and decided that things going on in their lives could not be mistakes. There had to be a big plan behind this. So they started talking to people. And it started out just by talking, and they started realizing more and more of what our government is, basically how they're encroaching into our lives, how what they're doing is totally contrary to the Constitution, and they started to get more and more aggravated. Now, these are professional filmmakers. These are not just people off the street that decide they're going to take their iPhones and make a video to go on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
These are professional movie makers. So they started this project called We the People. They have just about spent themselves into the ground, and coming on board with us has given them a mechanism to help to finish funding this film. I am one of these people who can see when somebody is blowing smoke. I have a talent for knowing when somebody is giving me a line of hooey. These gentlemen are quite genuine. The trailer will show you that. Their website will show you that. If you want information on the movie, it is WTPmovie.com.
Well, why don't we do one better, Roger? Because of my new technology, we can play it. How's that sound?
If you, I can't, I'm not getting a picture from you, but
No,
that's
I mean
fine.
I can go online while you and Vinny talk. What was the site again? Hold on a second. What was the site again?
It's WTPmovie.com, all lowercase.
Okay.
And one of the reasons it caught my attention is it's WTPM as in WTP Movie, and We Are WTPN as in We the People Network. So I really, everything about this thing snagged me. And then I looked at what they were discussing and the issues they were looking into, and they're not skirting around the things because certain things because they don't want to upset people who might be in power and who might not like this. Yeah. They're grabbing the gusto, Vinny. They're going for the meat. They're talking about the issues. The people, and I'm not going to be mentioning any names because this is big. And this is something I want them to do the research. I want them to watch this movie. So I'm not going to spoil a lot of things for them. But even the people they are interviewing, these are not your frustrated couch potatoes. These are people who have a real voice in society. These are celebrities. These are scholars. The entire movie is being done in such a professional manner. Now, what I would ask is that before these three fine gentlemen bankrupt themselves, and they are business owners, making this movie, what we are asking is if you would go to either WTPN, WTP Network, We the People Movie, and make a donation there, or go to WTPmovie.com and make a donation there. Any donations made on our site, the WTP Network site, do not ever go into a We the People Network account. That account is tied straight into the movie's account. So WTPN never sees a penny of that. If you go on our site, there is a special button set up for that movie. Any donations you make go directly into their account. They do not pass go. They do not. Well, we're hoping they do collect $200.
That's right. Hey, listen, Roger. Let's give them a reason to do it. Let's give them a reason. I have it all queued up and ready. Let's. You'll hear it. You just won't be able to see the visual unless you go. Actually, if you go to truthbroadcastnetwork.com and mute the audio, you can watch the video.
I've actually seen it several times. I've played it to death.
Yeah, I'm just gonna we can talk over it. I mean, make comments.
I'd rather not.
All right, let's not. All right, everybody. This is How to Save an American Economy. We the People. How to Save an American Economy movie trailer. Here it comes.
The United States right now is the greatest debtor nation in the history of mankind.
It could be an inflationary depression. We'll have a fantastic crisis, something that we've never experienced before. You know, how all this resolves is unknown.
We've let this go on far too long. It's time that we give our government a final ultimatum. How dare they let America fall this far? So we're going to show you how we can take it back.
Well, we saved the economy, not for the millions of people that lost their house or lost their job. They did save the Goldman Sachs bonus pool, though. It rebounded very nicely.
Bet you're asking.
Does the average guy in the street ever get the president's ear? No. So whoever is buying the president's ear has the president's mind.
There will always be people who want to rule the world.
We know the politicians are crooks. We know the rich, when they speak, they lie, and when they're silent, they're stealing. We know so much that we do nothing.
If we had let all the big banks fail, it would have been a big risk. It would have been very painful, but we would have started healing the next day. Get rid of the people that did bad, promote the people that did good, and we keep delaying that.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
Any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
Just some of these baby boomers that are now leading in the Congress, I will want to slap them in the face and say, my God, you wouldn't do this to your own children.
They put their hand on a Bible and they swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States, and then they put it in the bottom drawer and they go do whatever the party tells them to do. You lose control of your money, you lose control of your country.
You should be nervous. So am I. And you're 100% right. We are in totally uncharted waters.
The American people are a resilient crowd. You knock them down, they get up again.
We're all in this together. It's not about race, religion, class. It's about us as human beings, standing together to help each other and bring back our prosperity.
There's not going to be a leader that's going to come out riding on a white horse. So it's about morality. It's about you. It's about who you are.
I'm ready to watch that movie. That looks really good, Roger.
It's amazing. God bless these guys. I mean, that's it. We got to wake these people up, Raj. That was amazing, amazing trailer. And everybody watching, please donate. You know, they got to get this thing finished.
Let me go over that, okay, just a bit. But first, I told you they're not pussyfooting around.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are serious. They are going to tell the story we rant about daily. The things that you talk about, Howard, the things you talk about, Vinny, the things that we talk about in this network, they're going to bring this to light, and they're going to spread it across the United States in a very professional movie that will bitch slap awake so many people.
Well, yeah,
that's your line, by the way. Bitch slapping. That's your line. Roger's definitely.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's bitch slap him awake, Roger.
Well, I think there's a necessity, but there are so many people who are semi-awake. They think they know what's going on. Yeah. They see a little bit of what's happening, but they don't know the root of the true evil. This movie is going to back it all the way down to the roots. We will see with facts. We will see, and you've seen some of the people that were talking on this trailer. Yeah. Again, it's not the couch potato who's uncomfortable with the fact that he's getting taxed too much that's doing interviews here. These are people of substance. These are people of position. These are people of true patriotism. And I'll tell you how you can help, all right? Again, I have stated, no monies that get donated to this go anywhere near a We the People Network account. The button on our site goes directly into the movie account. So anything you donate goes directly to the movie, but we have a bonus for anybody who donates $10 or more, and 10 is all that's required to qualify for this. Your name will appear in the credits as a patriot who helped to put this movie together and make it possible. So if you want millions of people to know that you were a part of making this project succeed, then donate a minimum of $10. I would ask you to donate whatever you wish. But if there is a $10 donation with your name, and all people who donate, you have to do it with a credit card, basically, because it's PayPal, or you have to do it with a debit card. So your name is attached to that donation. Your name will appear in this movie.
That's a great idea. That's great marketing.
It's
idea.
Absolutely good idea. Yeah,
that is.
And it could be it could just be endless credits at the end. That's beautiful. That's what
we're looking for a couple 100,000.
like a 30-minute credit roll, you know.
and the longer the credit roll, the more
power it has.
It
does. It tells people that they care about their country, because that was an amazing film. I mean, just the trailer. I mean, you know that they're going for the throat. They're going to say it's the Rockefellers. They're going to say, like you said, everything that we're talking about the eugenics. They're going to say everything.
You're going to be amazed at what they're going to say. And everything they say is going to be backed up by truth and facts. This is not going to be smoke and mirrors. This is not Cointelpro, where they're going to come in and be paid to say certain things to distract us from other things. They're going for the juggler, guys. They're going for the elite. What they're doing is they're going to educate ignorance away. When you dispel ignorance, then there is nothing left but fact. And what we're going to do...
What you were saying before, too, is what's great about it is it's not just like a little, someone on their iPhone and, bad video, quality. I mean, that's what we need is real, professional people making real movies that people could actually... show to their parents or show to older people, or
yes.
You know what I mean? Not where they're looking at, like you said, a lot of us, just to get information, we put small budget little things that only the real avid researcher are gonna watch. You know, things like that. And I've mentioned to you before that movie, Waiting for Superman.
Yes.
Food Inc. You know, these are movies that, you know, they made that are really good because of like that, real producers, you know.
This is going to be a high quality, the best quality movie. It is going to be professionally choreographed. It's going to be produced by professionals. These gentlemen are very, very picky. Everything has to be perfect. And again, a $10 donation makes you a part owner in this film. Your name will be on this film. But it gets even better than that, okay? They are a full-time partner now in this network, and when this film is done, we will probably do a Building Bridges film, which will span the globe, because we all know that the biggest influence in this country is not necessarily coming from the government in this country, but the international cabal that basically rules the world, the money supply, and the politics in just about every country we quote-unquote call a free country nowadays.
Exactly, Roger, you know, very well said. And that's what's so important to understand, that the whole idea of the United Nations bringing the world government, like, I don't know if you were tuning in earlier, but I brought the whole fact of how over the last 50 years, it went from they denied that, oh, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're asinine to think there's a world government being planned, to the point where we need it, and here it is, and we have to have it. So now we're at the point where we realize that Agenda 21, which was set into place 22 years ago, oh my God, almost 22 years ago, okay, with the Rio conference, now we have this whole Agenda 21 going through the United States, and then it goes through Canada, and then they put it on the world. And that's how all the stages of this world government are being put through that categoristic change.
Yeah, but it gets even worse, because there is a bill sitting on the president's desk right now that has already gone through Congress and been passed. And basically what it does is it effectively eliminates our right to demonstrate and speak out against the government, and it also eliminates our right for freedom of religion in this country. It has been passed by our Congress. It is sitting on the president's desk.
You know,
there are provisions in this bill that absolutely curtail our freedoms to speak out against our government. You can get thrown in jail for it, and also curtail in a drastic measure, your freedom of religion, because we all know when the world government is brought in, there will also be a world religion brought in, and no others will be permitted.
That's right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
people don't understand.
Stop and look.
They don't understand this, Roger, that it's real, that this is what they're doing. It's unbelievable. The intent is there, and they're doing it, literally doing it. Oh, by the way, and then they'll complain, but they put this thing in there. They put it out there for this criminal.
You want to hear something that's very positive, and another ally...
Barry Soetoro is going to sign this.
What's that?
I said Barry Soetoro is going to sign this, and these criminals are going to get away with murder again.
Yes, and thing of it is, again, it comes out as a bill that sounds so passive and so necessary, but when you look into it, it is tyrannical beyond belief. It is taking the Constitution, this bill, and the Bill of Rights, and shredding it even further.
What is the HR resolution? What's it called? What's the number?
Now I'm embarrassed, and I will have to send you a link.
Whatever. I'll. By the way, on the upload, when I upload it to YouTube on the rebroadcast, I'll post it. Whatever. My God.
And I will send you a link to it.
I didn't even hear about this. When did this happen?
I just heard about it last night about 11:30 in the evening.
They never quit. They keep doing it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
How's about some good news then?
Okay.
How's about an ally? Because I've definitely fed you enough bad news. The movie is good news. The second piece of good news is an ally who, as soon as I mention the name, about 99% of your listeners are going to have a big smile on their face, because we did a Liberty Hour radio show last night, which is the flagship radio show for We the People Network. And our guest was none other than Sheriff Richard Mack.
Yes.
All right.
Nice.
He is the constitutional sheriff.
smiling.
He's American sheriff. He has an organization that counts as many as 300 constitutional sheriffs across the country. He is loved by Americans from coast to coast. His ideas of the power of the sheriff and how the sheriffs can help to bring this country back in line. Most people do not understand that the sheriffs are the most powerful law officer in this country. They are the only elected law officer in this country. And anybody of any rank in the federal government who enters a sheriff's territory is subservient to that sheriff.
That's right.
Sheriff reigns supreme. So the power of the sheriff is almost absolute in his territory. But the U.S. government has seen this, and they are starting to remove the sheriffs from the states one by one.
Well, they took it out of Connecticut years ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, they
and
took it out of these criminals. They took it out of here. I think it was in the 90s they took it away. They
All right,
saw
so
it
here's
coming pre-9/11.
Here's the good news. Sheriff Mack and his organization are now partners with We the People Network.
Woohoo!
So
great.
We have not only a great legal group, we have not only a great political group, we have not only a great economic group and a great patriot group in this network, but now we have the voice of every constitutional sheriff in this country. We the People Network is a grassroots organization of, for, and by we the people. This is your organization. It belongs to no politician. It belongs to no federal judge. It belongs to simply us. And what we do with it is our conscience. And we are of the mindset that we need to take our government back and put it where our founders originally intended it to be, and that is in the hands of we the people. And now, with the constitutional sheriffs and Sheriff Mack's organization, we are absolutely thrilled. Between the movie, Sheriff Mack signing on to this organization, our reach and our visibility has gone up by a huge factor. And with the addition of between 8 and 10 million new voices in the network over the last 10 days alone, what you can see is there are a lot of citizens in this country, and I must also add, are across the world, because this network sways influence in 74 countries right now.
It's amazing. Wow. Roger,
Across
your work is unbelievable. I mean, I can't thank you, sir, for all the kind things you say to me, but I would be remiss to mention the incredible fact that you are, of course, the founder of We the People Network, and you have grown this organization till the first phone call when you reached me and said, a friend had mentioned that I should contact you, and I did, and somebody that was in the network, and then, of course, we connected, and there were just a mere 2 million people, and I was astounded. 2 million people.
Yeah, I remember that too back then.
And of course, we were all together. Vinny, we've been through thick and thin, Vinny.
We are at 10 times that number of voices.
It's incredible.
Our media,
incredible.
it's hard to count a media reach, but through the TV station alone, we are reaching with our weekly shows. We record several shows a week. Each week, a different show is played. We put a bunch of them in the can so that we have reserves. But each week, a TV show is shown 6 times a week. That is throughout Europe, Great Britain, the Middle East, Turkey, Northern Africa, and back in through the United States and Canada through the internet, and soon to be through satellite. So we have a media reach of, at a minimum, 50 million a week, and easily could reach 100 million a week. We are planning 2 more television shows, 100 more radio shows strategically placed in countries around the world. In less than a year, we will be reaching 500 million people a week through this network.
Wow. That's right.
This is the
spoke to
power
Lynn about
of
this
we
today.
the people.
I spoke to Lynn
This-
Nichols. We
yeah.
got to thank Lynn Nichols, who runs the whole show.
She is the executive director of the network.
Lynn is
I'm the guy
incredible.
who builds the network. Lynn's the gal who runs the network along with the senior staff, who are a group of about 20 of the best patriots I have ever met in my life. This network could not exist without the dedication and the time afforded it by these 20 extremely good patriots, of which Lynn heads this group. I have no title in the network. My job is to go out and get the Sheriff Max, to go out and get the movies, to go out and bring in the partners around the world, to get the TV shows into the network. But I have no title. Lynn Nichols is the person responsible for the day-to-day operation of this network. She is not even American. She is Canadian, and she is one of the best American patriots I have ever met in my life.
That's absolutely true, too. That really is. It's amazing.
I'm really excited that you're saying Sheriff Mack. To be honest, to be honest, Roger, since you know, I haven't even really talked about a lot of the reason why I haven't been around, and you probably don't know much, but actually the same thing that Sheriff Mack's done is what I've been basically trying to do myself in my own area, and taking over a nice area. So I'm like really excited about that. You know, Sheriff Mack and what they're doing over there is what I feel everybody should be doing. And that's one of the things I've been doing that I haven't been talking about. But I've been making friends with the sheriff. I've been, people want me to run for mayor. And I've been making a lot of friends up there. So I'm not playing around too. I'm ready to start taking
I never
it to
thought
them.
you were.
So that's another thing
Vinny,
why I've been trying to keep it a little
Vinny,
quiet. Yeah.
If you would like to consult with the sheriff, he will be in the network probably at the beginning of this coming week. And as a partner, and you are also a partner, I'm sure he will afford you some time for maybe a few personal conversations so that maybe you can tweak a few things. The man has a lot of knowledge, and he has at his fingertips hundreds of other sheriffs who can get answers if he can't give them to you himself.
That's amazing.
And how we could all take back our towns or whatever area.
Exactly.
You know, to have thousands of Sheriff Max all over this country. You know?
So let me ask you a question, Vinny. Was it worth calling me in today?
Definitely. Yeah, it's great.
Are you kidding, Roger? I mean, really, please. Thank you for all you do. God bless you. And again, we're all doing this for liberty. Liberty is we cannot succeed in our lives if they hold us back by taxation without representation, by inflation, by dollar devaluation, by fraud, by murder,
by stripping away our God-given
inalienable rights.
Yep.
Yes,
inalienable right. I read a post that somebody sent me the other day. Actually, I put it on my wall, and basically what it said is these rights are inalienable. You do not have the right to give me these rights or offer me these rights. As a matter of fact,
or take them away.
Right. I ask you to stand aside and quit keeping me from exercising these God-given rights. And I read that, and it just rung so true, because it's what we all believe. We are entering a situation where with the law I just explained to you, we cannot demonstrate or talk out against the government. We will no longer have the freedom of religion. The government will have the right to put us on a hit list and have us assassinated without due process. The government has the right to bust your front door in, never tell you what you're accused of, and throw you in prison for the rest of your life without due process.
Yeah, but Roger, American Idol's on tonight. But American Idol's on tonight. Wait a minute, American Idol's on tonight, and I want to watch some baseball. Okay, so why the fuck are you telling me this bullshit that's never going to happen? And how do we get through to these assholes that think that way?
Well, let me ask you a question, okay? When you were born, and you're not exactly 15 or 20 years old, when you were born and you finally had even the most basic political awakening in your early teens, did you ever think you would live in a country that made Cuba look free?
That was a good one, Roger.
Oh, amen, man. That's freaking awesome. You hit it on the head, though. Or like East, Stasi, East Germany,
Yep.
Wow.
And it is not only, and it's not a matter
God,
anymore
it's not funny
of
either. I don't know why I'm laughing.
It's not a matter anymore of watch out, it's coming. It's get
here.
pissed, it's here.
Yeah.
It's fucking here. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm mad as hell and I won't take it no more.
I said forget it a long time ago. These goddamn criminals that have hijacked our government, these communist Cossack scum. Goddamn, I'll go on a rant, Roger. Don't get me started. But look at this. Can you believe that they're gonna have this total puppet, this total legend created president, a legend? I mean that because that's what the CIA call people that are put together like this. Barry Soetoro.
Is he going to win this?
I don't know.
Or are they going to give it to
It's
the
going to be,
woman?
I don't know if it's Romney or Obamney. It doesn't really matter.
I've got another word for you guys
Ron
that ought
Paul.
to piss off even more. Okay? There was a report was leaked by a reporter working for one of the mainstream media, or maybe one of the other people, an engineer or something for one of the mainstream media companies, that states that you know why you never hear anything on the mainstream media news about Obama's birth certificate? They are under a threat that if they mention it on air, that their shows and their networks will be investigated by the FCC and possibly have their license pulled.
They did that.
This is a free country. You do what we tell you. Sorry.
This is why the mainstream media doesn't mention it, because the